The NBA trade deadline brings an exciting opportunity for teams to reshape mid-season. In the past, the trade deadline saw Rasheed Wallace join the eventual champion Pistons, Carmelo joining the Knicks, and the Clippers trading away the eventual number 1 pick that ended up being Kyrie Irving. This season's trade deadline has already seen some big trades. If you want to find out, keep watching, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon. In this video, we will take a look at some of the winners and losers of the NBA 2022 trade deadline. Let's get started with the winners. After months of nothing, Ben Simmons finally leaves the Sixers after Philly agreed to a deal that would send Simmons to Brooklyn as well as Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round picks. A huge package for the Sixers, but they may have the perfect piece in return. James Harden joins the Sixers after weeks of speculation that he was unhappy in Brooklyn. The 2018 MVP has not quite had the time in Brooklyn he was hoping for. Injuries and COVID issues have meant KD, Harden, and Kyrie have very rarely played together. This season, the Nets are currently in the 8th seed, below less talented teams like the Raptors, Celtics, and Cavs. Harden can be the perfect addition to Embiid. The problem with Simmons and Embiid was that both wanted to control the paint on offense, whereas Harden can score from anywhere on the court and will surely be able to spread out the offense and give Embiid much more space. Philly also gets rid of Ben Simmons in this deal. The 2016 first overall pick has been a 3-time All-Star in his time with the Sixers, but his performances in last season's playoffs combined with Simmons taking the blame for the Sixers' playoff disappointments. After being thrown out of practice in October, Simmons has not played for the Sixers all season, so it is brilliant for the Sixers to get anything from the disgruntled star. This is a brilliant win-now move from the Sixers. If Harden can get back anywhere close to his form before joining the Nets, the Sixers may have just become the best team in the East. The Nets also getting some forward depth in the deal, with Paul Millsap heading to Philadelphia. The trade deadline may have become near perfect for the Sixers. The Indiana Pacers have been an average team since losing Paul George in 2017. Indiana has a good young core led by Miles Turner, Chris Duarte, and Domantas Sabonis, but the Pacers have decided to move on from the 2-time All-Star Sabonis, as it seems as though Miles Turner can step into the center role perfectly. So the Pacers decided to deal Sabonis and got a very good package in return. While Tristan Thompson won't provide much more than a backup role, Buddy Hield and Tyrese Halliburton are excellent pickups. Hield is a proven scorer who can really help Malcolm Brogdon improve the league's 16th best offense. The Pacers have also added 2012 overall pick Tyrese Halliburton, who's having a much improved second season. Halliburton heads to Indiana averaging 14.3 points and 7.4 assists per game, both up from his rookie season. Halliburton now creates an amazing backcourt rotation containing Halliburton, Brogdon, Duarte, TJ McConnell, and Dwayne Washington. This trade means the Pacers maintain their height advantage as well as creating one of the deepest guard rotations in the NBA. Pacers also added some guard experience at the trade deadline. Getting a first-round pick and rookie Rubio for Chris LeVert is a pretty good deal for the Pacers, considering they have a huge number of options already. Rubio is another good option who can distribute the ball well to the multitude of scorers that the Pacers have. This year's trade deadline brings the end of one of the best backcourt pairings of the past few years, with Cj Mccollum heading to New Orleans after 9 years with the Blazers. With Damian Lillard slumping in the 29 games he has played so far this season, the Blazers are looking at the future right now. It is clear that the pairing of Lillard and McCollum was not enough for the Blazers. So it seemed like the right time to move on, especially considering Anthony Simons is having a career year, so can hopefully fill the role left by McCollum in the future. Simmons is putting up 16 points per game and has played in 49 of the team's 52 games so far this season. The Blazers also hope that they can get some production out of the returning package. The Pelicans sent Josh Hart, Thomas Satoransky, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and Didi Lazuda to Portland as well as a 2022 first-round pick. Hart is the main element of the deal heading to the Blazers. The 30th overall pick in 2017, Hart is having his best year in the NBA this season, putting up 13 points per game while shooting over 50% from the field. A combination of Hart and Simon should be able to make a good pairing for Lillard for at least the rest of the season. But the main reason this trade was made was for the future. Letting McCollum go means that the Blazers have a lot more cap space as McCollum has a big contract for a player on the wrong side of 30. McCollum is getting paid more than stars like Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, and Donovan Mitchell. Blazers did the right thing on moving him, but it was not the only trade the Blazers have made before the deadline. Portland also sent Norman Powell and Robert Covington to the Clippers in exchange for Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, Keon Johnson, and a 2025 second-round pick. Covington was always an easy move for the Blazers as he was on an expiring contract. Powell will be missed by Portland, but offloading his contract makes the summer a lot easier for Portland. It now means that by the summer, the Blazers may have 2 lottery picks as well as being able to support Lillard in free agency while still re-signing Simons as a restricted free agent. The Blazers know that there is a lot of work to be done for them to be a contender next season, but the trades have been a step in the right direction. Now for the losers. The trade deadline has seen one of the league's best scorers head to New Orleans with Cj Mccollum joining Zion and Ingram after a trade that saw a few backcourt pieces including Josh Hart head the other way. It seems like the Pelicans are looking to win sooner rather than later. McCollum has scored more than 20 points per game every season since his 3rd season in the NBA in 2015-2016. McCollum adds star power to the backcourt for the Pelicans, as they did not see the production of first-round picks like Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Kira Lewis Jr. But this trade seems to be rash and not a great decision for the Pelicans. For one thing, McCollum is 30 years old. The Pelicans have an extremely young core, headed by 24-year-old Brandon Ingram and 21-year-old Zion Williamson. Once healthy, they can be a dangerous front-court pairing in the future. McCollum's not a move for the future. CJ also makes it difficult for the Pelicans to add in free agency. His contract is extremely expensive and makes it highly unlikely that the Pelicans will be able to add anyone in free agency, as they are now paying 2 different contracts over $30 million per season next season. McCollum is surely not a long-term solution, as his contract makes Zion's extension next season much more difficult. It may not be an awful move for the Pelicans. Adding McCollum surely makes the Pelicans the favorites to make their way through the play-in tournament and into the playoffs, but it makes the future a lot more difficult for a team who is surely focusing on building an exciting young team. 2022 looks to be another year of Luka Doncic doing it all for the Mavericks. It also brings the end of Kristaps Porzingis in Dallas as he heads to the nation's capital, in exchange for Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans. But it just seems like a mindless trade from Dallas' point of view. Kristaps has been solid since joining Dallas, averaging 19 points and 6 rebounds per game. Nothing spectacular, but good production from the former Knick. Dallas has decided to move on. They have decided to target 2 players in slumping form. Dinwiddie has struggled to adjust playing with Bradley Beal, with his stats struggling since leaving Brooklyn. But the worst part of this deal for the Mavericks is Bertans. The 2011 second-round pick was given a 5-year, $80 million contract and has not lived up to the contract, averaging just 6 points and 2 rebounds per game this season. Bertans and Dinwiddie are not the return the Mavericks should have been looking for and could hinder their building around Luka in the future. And that's it for today's video. If you liked my video, please hit the like button as it means a lot. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care.